Hey guys, welcome to the 2017 Big Brother Fantasy League. Um, I am your commissioner, Clay. Most of you know me. I know most of you. There are a few of you who I have not actually met, but I'm sure it's just a matter of time. But the purpose of this video today is to go over some of the basic rules, for instance, the drafting process, as well as some of the scoring categories from years past that we're still doing. Also some new ones that I think we'll add for the first time for season 19. The first thing I want to talk about are the dues, and just like last year, the dues are going to cost you $10. Seems like it's been a fair fee over the years, and so I don't see any reason to change it at the moment. And
It's for the Maloney's white trash party, okay? It's the
oh,
biggest
hang
party
on a
of the year.
second.
Yeah, okay. Well, in that case,
So
it's
sorry
gonna be
about
awesome. The youngest one,
this.
Danny, is in my grade, so
Not
I get to go see
sure
her.
what's
I heard their sister's bringing
happening.
a bunch of her friends.
Oh, okay. That is a little embarrassing. I apologize for that. We are going to just jump right back into this tutorial. So where was I? Yes, so the $10 fee is going to be the same. You can do a lot for $10. For instance, you could rent The Devil Wears Prada twice from iTunes and still have a few bucks left, or you could enter the league, and I hope you will do that this year. Also, now that we seem to have 20 people in the league, the winner-take-all prize of $200 is a record for Big Brother Fantasy. And there's lots of things that you can do with $200 if you are lucky enough to win. For instance, I noticed that you could purchase the Easton Press leather-bound copy of The Devil Wears Prada, written by Lauren Weisberger, and signed by her as well. So, there's lots of things that you can consider spending that $200 should you win. Well, the next real big thing we should talk about is the draft. The way this works is everyone will be drafting 2 house guests. Now, you may be asking, is it possible for people to draft the same house guests? And the answer to that is yes and no. But what I would say is that it's very much a first come, first serve draft. So the sooner you get your picks in, the less of a chance there is to have a problem in terms of house guest draft. So let's say Jermaine and Hillary are going to be playing in the league, and I suspect they will be. They are a married couple, and they will be drafting 2 players each. So let's say, for example, Jermaine submits 2 names, and he chooses. Okay, well, Jermaine has written down John and John. We're going to assume that in this scenario there are 2 Johns living in the Big Brother house. And if that's the case, why don't we go ahead and just throw some last initials on that so that it's clear for everyone. So here Jermaine has chosen John W. and John G. as his 1 and 2. Now, let's say Hillary has been busy changing diapers and wasn't able to get her picks in immediately, and she submits John W. and John G. as well. Clearly, Jermaine and Hillary have not been talking to each other because they have submitted the same names. Now, this is a possibility. This could happen theoretically in the league. 2 people could choose the same 2 players. At this point, what I would do is I would email Hillary and give her 2 options. First, she could choose to flip the ranking of the 2 contestants if she really felt strongly about keeping John G and John W. And that might be a smart move. In this case, Jermaine and Hillary would accrue the exact same amount of points over the course of the season. However, it would come down to a tiebreaker for them. If John G were to win or outlast John W, then Hillary would beat Jermaine in the contest. Hillary's second option would be to redraw. So she could go back to the board and yes, she could pick 2 Samanthas. But again, let's try to think of a way to separate the names, and yes, okay, that would be fine. Sammy and Sam would work. Now, over the years, certainly the recent years, Big Brother tends to spend 2 episodes to introduce the entire cast. If that's the case, you will not have to get your picks in until the beginning of episode 3. So that is plenty of time. But that doesn't mean you have to take up all that time to make your choices. Personally, I would really appreciate it if you wouldn't wait till the very last second, Jeff, because the longer it takes for everyone to get their picks in, the less time I will have to generate an email showing you guys the results so that you have it before episode 3 begins. So just a reminder, Jeff, to make a decision. Because no matter how much time you spend, somebody will lose one of their 2 players on the first eviction night. Not unlike a child's birthday party, where a creepy clown shows up. Many will have fun, but somebody will go home in tears. Now, you will receive from me an email, and you're going to want to download the Word document that I have attached. Let's see here. I will have an example of it here. Hang on, please. Hang on. No, it's going to be here. And yes, okay. Big Brother scoring categories. Here you will see a complete list of all the ways your house guests can earn or lose points over the course of the season. From the very top, you'll see just by participating in the HOH competition, you will get a point. By hosting a competition, you'll also get a point. There are lots of ways to gain points and to lose points. Some of my favorites you'll see highlighted in yellow. If your person needs medical attention, that's 1 point. If they cry in the HOH room, they get 2 points. However, if your player cries anywhere else, they will lose 1 point. Correctly spell a word in a competition over 6 letters long. That's a good one. That's 1 point. Visit the hometown, 2 points. Pop a champagne cork, 2 points. And finally, as of right now, the one new category is if your player finds a hide-and-seek veto card, they will get 3 points per card. Now everybody loves the hide-and-seek competition, and no doubt it will return. Many of these categories are self-explanatory, but I thought I would take a moment to go over a few of the bigger ones. Alright, so I'm going to close out of here, and I'm going to go back to my PowerPoint presentation. So one of the big ones is alliances. Now you'll see in the scoring category document that if your house guest joins an alliance of 3 or more people, then you will get a point. Now let's do a hypothetical where you have drafted this weirdo. Now it's very unlikely that anyone would want to align with someone as weird as this, but for the sake of this tutorial video, let's assume that there is a second weirdo in the house, and the 2 of them join an alliance. Well, that's great for them, but unfortunately not so great for anyone who has drafted these 2 weirdos, because you will not get a point. Now, if along comes a third weirdo, then your person gets 1 point. If you have 2 members in this alliance, you will get 2 points. As an added bonus, if the person who names the alliance is one of your 2 house guests, you will get an additional point. Every so often, Big Brother will reveal the twin twist. We've seen this 2 or 3 times over the course of the series, and it's always possible that there will be a twin twist this season as well. So let me break down how the twin twist will affect you if you have happened to draft one of the twins. Let's say in the Big Brother house there is a woman whom you drafted named Christine, and the show reveals that she is actually one of a set of twins, and her twin sister Inetzerk is outside of the house while Christine is inside of the house, and throughout the show they swap places. Now if you've drafted Christine, you will get any points that Christine earns, or lose points which she loses while she is inside the house. If Inetzerk is in the house, you will also get all the points that she earns over the course of the season. Now, if the 2 women last long enough, they will be invited to come into the house at the same time. If the twins last this long, you will have to choose one of the two twins to keep moving forward. Let's say you decide to keep Inutsuk, and then Inutsuk goes home. If Christine stays in the house without Inutsuk, you do not get any points. Possibly my favorite scoring category is the cold open quote. At the beginning of every episode, the show will do a recap of things that have happened up until this point. It usually ends with a house guest saying something funny or outrageous, and then goes right into the opening credit sequence. Now, I call that last quote the cold open quote, and if your house guest delivers the cold open quote, then you will get a point every time that happens. Now, you may know exactly what I'm talking about, but let me see if I can find an example of a Big Brother. Okay, so here's a hilarious Big Brother cold open quote. Now let's see if this is what I want.
They may know who's on the block, but the house guests have no idea that I'm
Alright, now
here
I don't know
and
what season
that
this
someone
is.
is about
Let's see.
to be evicted.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's Dan.
Congratulations,
It's
Dan.
Dan
You are the new.
and Ian. Right. Okay, I remember this season. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna skip ahead.
This time I talked Ian into not putting me up so he can put Shane up so I can take
So you'll see the cold open quote coming up pretty soon.
The veto is played, someone will be evicted, and a new head of household will be crowned. Plus, a luxury prize sends two house guests to meet the gold medal winning U.S. women's gymnastics team. This special eviction episode happens right now on Big Brother.
I'm going to show you how to deal with engorged breasts.
Okay, so that's an example of the cold open quote. If you had drafted this woman in the beige outfit, then you would have earned a point. If you had drafted this gentleman, you would have earned 0 points. Let's take a couple of minutes to go over the Excel spreadsheets that I use to keep score. Again, this will be attached to an email. So you will be able to download it to your own hard drive. And let's see. First, what we'll do is we'll look at last year's scorecard. Okay. Let me just expand this a little bit. And we're going to see here, this was the 2016 Fantasy Big Brother Season 18. The winner of which was Andrew Golder. Congratulations, Andrew Golder. You probably will never win again. Over here on the left, you see all the house guests chosen by each particular player. The people, as they go home, I will make sure to put their pictures in black and white, just like in the television show. And on the bottom are all the main cast members. Last year, Nicole Frenzel was the winner. I'm sure we all remember that. And I mark when people get evicted with red lines. So here, Bridget got evicted right here. It looks like Zakia also got evicted on the same day, so maybe that was a double eviction. Don't really remember. So that's last year. Oh, and real quick, over here, I kind of break down, I keep track of who kisses who cries and where they cry, as well as hashtags. Looks like I dropped the ball on the hashtag column. And then over here, I do keep track of who survives eviction night, because that does come into play throughout the season. Now, that was last year. Let's take a quick look at this year's spreadsheet. Feel free to print out at home and keep track of your points, but no pressure, because I will keep track of everyone's score. Don't know where this Rogue 2 came from. Let's get rid of that. I am not a cheater, despite what some of you may think. Okay, so yeah, 2017 Big Brother Season 19. Changed the color scheme a little bit to match the cast lists. These are all the players. Got my eye on Kevin Schluherber here. I think he's going to go far. And just to show you a little added feature, you'll notice the gray bars here. This is an indicator of how well everyone did last season and when their players went home. So you have something to beat when you play along. And for our newcomer, Ian, and perhaps even Ryan, you will see that you have a clean slate. All right, so that's how the Excel spreadsheets work. Now I think I have covered 90% of what's in store for us this season. If you have any questions or concerns or any other issues, feel free to email me directly, or if it's something public, you can absolutely CC the entire league. Thank you for listening, and I wish everybody good luck.